So Nicki Minaj, being a diva, sort of leads to this guy getting kidnapped. Let me explain. So it all starts with this guy, 6ixI9, and he's a rapper, and we've talked about him before, but this is a different story. So one day in 2017, he films a music video and puts a bunch of local gang members in it, because he thinks it'll give him street cred. And during the shoot, he meets this guy, Harv, and this other guy, Shotti. So Harv and Shotti are both high-ranking members of this gang, 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods. And these guys recruit 6ixI9 into their gang for real. And they do a lot for him. They give him protection, they beat up rivals for him, but most importantly, they give him the street cred that he needs. And partly because of this street cred, 6ixI9's career blows the fuck up. Now, in exchange for all the work they're doing for him, 6ixI9 pays them and the gang with the money he's bringing in from his music videos. So over time, 6 and Shotti become best friends. They're like hanging out and they're working together all the time. However, it isn't the same with Harv. Harv is a little suspicious of 6. He thinks he's not a real gangster. Partly because when they go commit gang crimes together, like various robberies and assaults and shootings, 6ixI9 just mostly stays in the car and films the others. But whatever. Time moves on and 6 continues to blow up and become more and more famous. And suddenly, a bit of tension starts to build between 6 and the others. I mean, he's becoming a celebrity, and it seems like maybe Harv and Shotti are jealous of all this money he's making off the street cred that they gave him. Not only that, these two are jealous of each other, and over time they start arguing and fighting over who's going to control 6's career and get the most money from it. So eventually, bam, Harv and Shotti split, and poor 6ixI9 has to choose who to side with. So naturally, he sides with his old friend, Shotti. But then, one day, in 2018, shit gets really crazy, because 6 collaborates with another rapper, Nicki Minaj, and they film a music video together. And on the day the music video's about to premiere, it's 4 a.m., and 6 is at a local strip club. Because, of course he is. Now, Nicki, she's kind of a diva. Well, maybe she's not a diva in this case, but she's a perfectionist, and she wants this music video of her to be perfect. And so she's watching a cut of it, and she just doesn't really like what she sees. So she texts 6, and she's like, I don't like some of the things in our video. I need you to re-edit it before it comes out. And so 6 leaves the strip club early, and he gets in his car because he's got to go fix this video. And soon enough, his driver is driving him over to his editor's house. And suddenly, pow, a car slams into them from the back. And 2 guys in hoodies get out of that car, and one has a big-ass pew-pew. And they run up to 6's door, and they open it, and they say, give me everything.
Give me everything. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get in the car. Get in the car.
And 6, he recognizes one of the guys robbing him. It's Harv. And Harv tells him, get in my car or I'll shoot you. And 6, he doesn't want to get shot, so he gets in the car, in the back seat. And there's another goon in there holding a pew-pew up to him. And then Harv gets in and the car speeds away. Minutes later, they stop at an empty street. And Harv grabs 6 and he drags him out of the car by his rainbow-colored hair. And he starts recording him saying, say you're not a gangster! Say you're not a gangster! And then, pow, he punches 6 in the face over and over again. And then, boom, he pistol whips him. And 6 knows these guys are about to unalive him, so he starts begging. I'll give you whatever you want. I got jewelry at home. I'll give you jewelry if you just let me go. And Harv hears this and he's like, alright. So they all get back in the car and they start driving to 6's place to get the jewelry. And strangely, Harv knows where 6 lives, even though 6 never gave him his address. But anyway, 6 calls his baby mama at home, who we'll just call baby mama. So 6 calls her and he says, I need you to wrap up all my jewelry and come downstairs. And she's like, why? What's going on? And he's like, just do it. And so they pull up to the house and baby mama comes downstairs with a bag full of jewelry. It's got a Rolex and a bunch of rings and chains in it, and specifically, it has 6's My Little Pony chain, which is worth around $365,000. And Harv, he grabs the bag from her and he gets back in the car. Now at this point, Six is thinking, okay, he got the jewelry, now he's gonna let me go. I'm gonna be okay, everything is gonna be fine. Until... everything is not gonna be fine, because Harv doesn't let him go. Instead, bam, he slams on the gas and skirt, the car speeds away. And Six is thinking, oh, I am fucked, these guys are definitely gonna unalive me. Minutes later, they park on a back street, and Harv, the goon, and Six, they all get out. And Harv, he's still got that pew-pew. And he says, come here, Six, let me tell you something. And Six knows what that means. It means he's about to die. So he does the only thing he can do. Bam! He breaks out and he runs as fast as he can. And he makes a sharp turn and then he sprints toward a different street. Then he sees a random car stopped with somebody in it. And so boom, he jumps inside. And the owner of that car is just some random guy. And he starts screaming at him like, hey, get out of my car! And Six is like, shut up or I'm gonna die, please, just drive away. And eventually, I guess the guy starts to believe him and he drives away. And so Six finally manages to escape Harv. And later, he's lying there in the hospital, recovering from all the beatings Harv gave him, and he's wondering, how did Harv know where I live? It's a brand new address. And only 2 people had this new address, Baby Mama and Six's old friend Shotty. So Six starts to wonder, is Shotty out to get me too? So fast forward a few months later, and Six is chilling somewhere, and he opens up Instagram, and suddenly he sees all these comments on his page telling him that Shotty is smashing with his baby mama. So of course, Six is pissed. So he goes and he confronts baby mama like, what's up with all these Instagram comments? And she denies anything romantic is going on between her and Shotty, but I guess Six doesn't believe her and he flips out and he beats the shit out of her. So now, Six has been betrayed by baby mama, Harv, and his best friend Shotty. Like, you'd almost feel bad for him if he weren't such an asshole all the time. And to make it worse, because of all his past gang activity and all the crimes he's been involved in, the feds have been watching him for a long time. And eventually, they build up a strong enough case against him, and bam, they arrest him. Here's his mugshot. And they also arrest Harv, here's his mugshot, and they arrest Shotty, here's his. And they also arrest a bunch of the other members of their gang too. And so for all Six's past gang activity crimes, he's facing 47 years in prison. However, when the feds come to him, he decides to make a deal and snitch on Harv and Shotty. Sure, they were all in the gang together, they committed all of those crimes in the past together, but at the end of it all, Harv robbed him and Shotty allegedly smashed with his baby mama. And so, boom, Six snitches and he testifies against them in court. And he testifies against a bunch of the gang members, and this puts his ex-friend Shotty in prison for 15 years, and his kidnapper Harv in prison for 24 years. However, unfortunately for him, it destroys his street cred as now he is widely criticized for being a snitch. So I guess the moral of the story is if Nicki Minaj ever texts you to leave a strip club early, don't do it, because you might get kidnapped.